Hey everyone, this is the Humanity in the Loop podcast. As technology is advancing quickly, we freefall into technology, startups, business, and more with a focus on humanity. But before we get started, the podcast has been created for entertainment and educational purposes only, and nothing in the content should be taken as investment advice. To see the full disclaimer, go to humanityintheloop.gtzt.net. Again, that is humanityintheloop.gtzt.net. So let's get started, and we hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, so let's get into it. It is definitely a fascinating time in history in so many ways, and especially in the world of technology. As the excitement and media attention continues on, there are so many things to consider for individuals, creators, solopreneurs, micro-enterprises, small to mid-sized businesses, as well as large businesses and enterprises. So many of the AI products being released into the world are software as a service products. So the business model, in a sense, has not changed, but companies are definitely trying to rearrange it and in some cases gamify it. We are hearing talk about how AI agents are going to take over the world, and robotic process automation as well. We are hearing talk that coding may be a skill not needed in the future, and more. But we have to stay mindful that this intense noise is coming from software companies trying to promote and sell their products, or content creators who are trying to boost their channels or social platforms to gain followers and monetize. Now, we are all in when it comes to monetization for creators and software companies, but to be polite, considerate, and not harsh, there is a lot of hype going on at the moment. But when it comes to individuals, creators, solopreneurs, micro-enterprises, small to mid-sized businesses, and large businesses and enterprises, there is a lot at stake. For many years, we have had software platforms for building websites and building e-commerce platforms. For the most part, not too complicated. Sure, things could happen. Subscription prices could change. User interface and user experience could change. But for the most part, unless it was a very intense e-commerce website, a user could move or change platforms, not the end of the world. But when you start to think about building web applications or mobile applications on a platform that is using AI to generate the code, you are talking about a much more serious relationship than building a website. So when you hear talk that coding may not be a skill that people will need in the future, you have to really dig deep into that and ask yourself all the particulars of that statement and see if it is true. It is easy to get lost in the fact that coding is used to create software, web applications, and mobile apps. But coding skills go way beyond software development, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, automation, data analysis and visualization, cybersecurity, game development, robotics, cloud computing, Internet of Things, scientific research, and more. So coding skills are deep and spread across a wide range of technologies. So the no-code movement has been around for a bit now, and more is popping up every day. But again, if you or your company are thinking of building a web application or mobile app using a no-code platform, you may need to be mindful that building an application with a database is a much larger endeavor and long-term commitment. And if you are choosing to build that product on a no-code platform, are they the platform for you or your company? If you make the choice to build a web application or mobile app on a no-code platform, these could be some important things to think about. Does their subscription model seem sustainable for the long term? And you absolutely have to think about whether they will raise the price 2 or 5 or 10 years down the line, and factor that in. Logic would tell us yes. So right off the bat, it has to be a sustainable partnership. So you have to look deep at the platform you are choosing, because if you become successful with that product, you will be dependent on that platform for continued success, and a lot could happen. What if at some point, after years and years of hard work, they change the game, price you out of the market, or some other unforeseen scenario? You or your company at that point would have to think about moving to a new platform. So right from the start, when you think about building an application, there is a lot to consider before diving in. This is important to discuss because, again, building a technology product is a big commitment. Now, if you are trying to build a minimal viable product, or MVP, that is a different story, and maybe that is a good way to approach the platform you are choosing. Ask yourself, is this platform an MVP platform or the real deal? And when we mean the real deal, we mean that you or your company can deploy a product that will function and perform and give you the opportunity to achieve whatever goal you or your company may be seeking. Now, what we are talking about has been around since the dawn of software. Any time that individuals or companies are dependent on their software platforms for their survival, it can create vulnerabilities. And as we head into the age of AI, the game will be the same. The business model may change slightly, it may be gamified, but all the vulnerabilities that exist for individuals, creators, solopreneurs, micro enterprises, small to mid-sized businesses, and large businesses and enterprises will still be there. As we begin to see no-code platforms where you or your company can build AI agents or RPA, these tools could be time-intensive and costly to use. So again, just like building web applications and mobile apps as we discussed earlier, individuals and companies are going to have to really focus on deciding what the risk is and decide if these platforms would be both time and cost effective for them. Then make the decision if they want to enter into a business relationship with the company that is operating the platform. In theory, creating web applications, mobile apps, AI agents, and more on no-code platforms sounds great, but there is a lot more to it. When an individual or company creates a product where they write the code, it is hard to compete with that, and it comes down to ownership. Going forward, if individuals, teams, or companies choose to use no-code platforms to create products, they will likely be heavily dependent on other platforms and APIs. This may create financial, security, and operational risks for the developer, and it also might give way to the mindset of diminished ownership. We are still in the very early innings when it comes to the no-code movement, and watching it evolve will be interesting and exciting. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Humanity in the Loop podcast. Thanks for listening. Until next time.